Who hasn't dreamed of owning, a slice of paradise? Just imagine white sandy beaches, clear blue water, sipping cocktails by an infinity pool. It sounds
Like,
incredibly glamorous, doesn't it?
absolutely. It's the dream.
Well, today we're diving deep into whether investing in a luxury condo in Phuket is really a smart move. And just a quick heads up for you, dear listener, we'll be saying it the local way, Phuket, not Phuket.
Good point. Phuket.
Exactly. So, is it a gold mine, like our source puts it, or could it potentially turn into a money pit? We're unpacking an insightful article called Phuket Luxury Condos, Investment Goldmine or Money Pit. It's from Ocean Worldwide. They're a luxury real estate agency actually based right there in Phuket. Been there since 2004, focused on Phuket and Koh Samui.
Right. They know the market well. Sandra O'Neill, the director there, has helped literally thousands of families and investors over the years.
And their blog's marketing, which is where this article comes from, is overseen by Guayola Videtian. So, our mission here is to give you a clear picture, the allure, the realities, the crucial things to consider for this kind of investment. Basically, help you get properly informed without drowning in details.
Yeah, and what's really interesting is how the article sets it up as this clear dilemma, high potential, but also significant risk. Our job today is to kind of connect the dots for you, help you understand the why behind the opportunities, and importantly, the challenges. The source flags some key takeaways right from the start.
Like what?
Well, first, Phuket's high-end market definitely attracts global interest. That tropical setting, its position in Asia, it's a draw. But crucially, you have to understand Thai property laws, freehold versus leasehold, that's paramount for foreign buyers. We'll get into that.
Okay.
And costs. You need to consider all the costs, not just the price tag, but taxes, ongoing fees.
Like the hidden stuff.
Exactly. And good property management is vital for upkeep, for rental income. Plus, having an exit strategy, thinking about resale right from the beginning.
Okay, let's unpack this dream then. Owning a piece of Phuket paradise.
When you think about tropical real estate, it's more than just the building itself, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's a lifestyle choice.
An escape, right, from the daily grind, that promise of sun.
Yeah, people see it for holidays, sure, but also as a long-term investment, maybe a retirement spot, or definitely a source of rental income.
And Phuket isn't just any island. The article calls it a major player.
It really is. Established tourism, growing economy, that reputation for luxury.
Plus, relatively stable politics and decent infrastructure compared to some other tropical spots. That's a big plus for investors, I imagine.
Definitely. And that popularity with tourists means, built-in demand for rentals.
So what is it about these high-end condos specifically? What makes them so attractive to international buyers, beyond just the beautiful setting? Well, kind of boils down to a few key things. First, the luxury living itself, top-notch amenities, amazing views, pure comfort.
Okay.
Then there's the investment potential we mentioned, that strong rental market. It's also a pure lifestyle choice, perfect for a holiday home or even retirement.
And a bit of prestige, too, I guess. Owning property somewhere desirable.
Exactly. There's that element, too.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. If you're thinking of jumping in, where in Phuket should you even be looking?
Location, location, location. Absolutely key. The article points out some established areas. Bang Tao, for example, that's quite upscale, relaxed vibe. Home to the big Laguna Phuket resort complex. Great for families.
Right.
Then you've got Surin. More chic, trendy, high-end restaurants, beach clubs. But expect a premium price tag there.
Okay, pricier.
Yeah. If you want action, Patong is buzzing. Busy, lively, good rental potential probably. But noisy. Definitely not for quiet relaxation.
Got it. So different strokes for different folks.
Pretty much. And Kamala offers a nice middle ground. More laid back than Patong, but still plenty going on.
That's a good overview of the main spots. But what about looking beyond those? Are there emerging areas the source mentions? Maybe some hidden gems?
Yeah, absolutely. The article does highlight a few. Rawai, down on the southern tip, is gaining traction. Stunning beaches, relaxed feel. Property prices there are generally a bit lower, so there's decent potential for capital appreciation, value growth.
Okay, Rawai. Interesting.
Nearby, you've got Nai Harn, another beautiful beach, quieter area, but new developments are starting to pop up. And maybe surprisingly, Phenga, Technically not in Phuket, but it's a short drive.
Oh, right.
Stunning natural beauty there. It's seen as an alternative if you want to get away from the more crowded areas.
So when you're looking at these emerging spots, what are the key things to assess?
Well, accessibility is crucial. How easy is it to get to? What's the infrastructure like roads, utilities, and are there any big development plans on the horizon? That could be good or bad, depending.
Makes sense. And beyond just where to buy, what about market trends? What actually drives the Phuket property market?
A few big things. Tourism numbers are huge. More tourists usually means higher rental yields and property values. That's a direct link.
Right, the lifeblood.
Definitely. Infrastructure projects too, new roads, airport expansions that can seriously boost values in nearby areas. And, of course, the wider Thai economy. Its overall health plays a big role.
So if tourism is so central, what happens if there's, say, a global travel slump, or even just a shift in local policy? How resilient is Phuket beyond tourism? Is that a major vulnerability?
That's a really crucial question. Market volatility is something we need to talk more about.
And also, let's get down to brass tacks the money.
Mm.
Because even a dream property has to make financial sense, right?
Exactly. Let's ground this dream in financial reality, the initial cost. It's definitely not just the sticker price. Our source, Ocean Worldwide, they really emphasize this. They point out all these other costs that add up fast.
Like what specifically?
Stamp duty, for one.
Mm-hmm.
Legal fees, and honestly, you cannot skimp on a good independent lawyer here.
Non-negotiable.
Totally. Then potential renovation costs, maybe furniture if it's not included. These nifl extras can easily tack on another 5–10% to the purchase price.
Wow, okay. That adds up.
And don't forget the sinking fund. That's a one-off payment towards future major building maintenance, like your share for big repairs down the line, new roof, pool pump, that sort of thing. Keeps the building looking good.
Right, a communal pot for big jobs.
Yeah.
So you've got the upfront costs covered. What about the potential returns? Rental yields, capital appreciation. Given it's Phuket, there must be income potential.
There is potential, yes, but yields vary wildly. It depends heavily on the exact location, the size, the level of luxury. A really well-managed place in a prime spot could bring decent returns. But the article warns, don't expect to get rich overnight from rentals.
Manage expectations.
Exactly. And capital appreciation, your condo actually increasing in value, that's also not guaranteed. It depends on the market, the economy. It's always a bit of a gamble, though good planning helps.
Okay. And ongoing costs. Taxes, fees.
Yeah, you need to factor those in too. Property taxes in Thailand are relatively low compared to many places, but they exist. Plus, you'll have ongoing maintenance fees for communal areas, pools, gardens, security, utilities like electricity, water, internet. And if you rent it out, your property manager will take a slice of that income. That's standard.
So what this all means is you really need to be realistic about the finances, right? Crunch the numbers properly.
Absolutely. Make sure you can afford it not just now, but long-term. Unexpected costs always seem to pop up.
That realism leads perfectly into the legal side. Navigating Thai property laws as a non-resident. This sounds potentially tricky.
It can be. This is where it gets crucial, as you said.
What's the single biggest legal hurdle or gotcha for foreign buyers that the source highlights?
Okay, the main thing to get your head around is this. Foreigners generally can't own land outright in Thailand. Freehold land ownership is restricted.
Right. So how do they buy condos?
There are perfectly legal ways. For condos, you typically have two main routes, leasehold or freehold.
Explain those.
Leasehold means you lease the property for a fixed term, usually 30 years. There might be options to renew, but you have to check the contract details carefully. Renewal isn't always guaranteed. It's a very common way for foreigners to hold property.
Okay, leasing for a long time.
Exactly. Freehold is where you own the condo unit itself outright. Foreigners can do this, but there's a key rule. Foreign ownership in any single condominium building is limited to 49% of the total saleable unit area.
Ah, the 49% rule. I've heard of that.
Yes. So if that 49% foreign quota is already full in a building you like, leasehold might be your only option for that specific unit. Understanding this difference is absolutely fundamental.
It sounds like getting good legal advice is not just recommended, it's essential.
Essential is the word. Non-negotiable, even. This leads directly to the importance of due diligence and legal counsel. Seriously, do not skip this. Get an independent lawyer, someone who specializes in Thai property law, who works only for you.
Not the developer's lawyer.
Absolutely not. Their loyalty is to the developer. Your lawyer will review everything: the developer's track record, the contracts, the title deeds. They'll explain leasehold versus freehold implications for your situation. Think of it as like an insurance policy for what might be a huge investment.
That's a great way to put it.
It really is. And I have to repeat this crucial reminder. Don't rely on the developer's lawyer. Find your own expert counsel. It might seem like an extra cost up front.
But could save you a fortune later.
Exactly. I've seen people get swept up in the dream, skip the independent lawyer, and end up in a paperwork nightmare. It's a costly lesson. Understanding the risks and the law protects that dream.
That advice on independent legal counsel is so important. But I wonder, how often do people actually try to cut that corner? And what are the typical problems they run into?
It happens more than you'd think, especially if a deal looks amazing on the surface. The pitfalls: unclear title deeds, clauses in leaseholds that don't allow easy renewal, issues with developer permits. Lots of things a good lawyer would spot.
Okay, so beyond the legal side, let's talk about mitigating other risks. It's not all sunshine, right? Careful planning is needed. For instance, assessing market volatility and economic factors. Phuket's market goes up and down like any other.
Absolutely. Tourism swings, global economic shifts, even local politics. They all have an impact. A sudden drop in tourism could hit rental yields hard. Changes in interest rates affect property values. And looking longer term, some people are starting to consider the effects of climate change on coastal properties. That's a growing consideration.
So diversification is key. Don't put all your eggs in the Phuket condo basket.
It's generally sound investment advice, yes.
Okay, what about the developers themselves? Understanding their reputation and project stability.
Hugely important. Not all developers are created equal. The article strongly suggests doing your homework. Check their track record, visit past projects if you can, maybe even talk to owners in those buildings.
Look for red flags.
Definitely. Things like significant delays, chatter about poor construction quality, signs of financial trouble. A deal that seems too good to be true might be because the developer is cutting corners, or worse, might go bust before finishing. Always check their financial stability and make sure they have all the proper permits and licenses.
Right. And then there's protecting your investment from just unforeseen stuff.
Life happens, right? Natural disasters, although rare, can occur. Economic downturns, even legal disputes with neighbors or tenants. Insurance is absolutely essential. Property damage cover, maybe rental income loss cover too. Having a contingency fund, a little pot of money set aside for unexpected expenses, is also really smart.
And always get that professional legal advice we talked about.
Always.
Okay, now for the more fun part. What about this lifestyle dividend the article mentions? What does that actually look like in Phuket?
The lifestyle dividend. This is a massive part of the appeal for many buyers, and Phuket really delivers on the luxury front. Owning a high-end condo there gives you access to, world-class everything. Amazing restaurants, designer shops, incredible spas.
That's nice.
It is. It's about more than just the property. It's access to a lifestyle. Gourmet meals overlooking the ocean, playing golf on some of Asia's best courses. The island also has a really vibrant nightlife, but sophisticated too. Lots of cool bars, beach clubs. It caters to an international crowd looking to, indulge.
That's a good life.
Pretty much. And the appeal of resort-style living itself is huge.
What do you mean by that exactly?
Think about it. No chores. Forget mowing lawns or fixing things. It's all taken care of. It's like living in a five-star hotel, but it's your own space.
Yeah.
You often get access to concierge services, housekeeping, 24-hour security.
That's
Totally. Many developments have amazing facilities, on-site gyms, kids clubs, lovely pools and communal areas. Great for families. It lets you just focus on relaxing and enjoying the island. Plus, there's often a nice social aspect, meeting other owners, like-minded people.
So it's not just the view, it's the convenience and the community. Escaping the mundane without worrying if the neighbor's cat just, chewed through your Wi-Fi cable.
Exactly. It's about simplifying life while upgrading the experience. Ultimately, it's about finding that balance, isn't it? Balancing the investment goals with your own personal enjoyment. You need to find that sweet spot where it makes sense financially, but also genuinely enhances your life. It's a place to escape, make memories, recharge.
Well, hopefully being a sound investment too.
Ideally, yes. So you need to think, how often will you actually use it? What are your priorities? Rental income, capital growth, just pure enjoyment. And be realistic, can you manage it effectively if you're living thousands of miles away? Probably needs professional help. Remember, property investment is usually a long game. The real rewards often come from holding it over time and actually enjoying those lifestyle benefits.
That brings us neatly to the future. What's the outlook for Phuket's luxury property market, according to the article? What's on the horizon?
Well, The general expectation is for continued growth. There's still significant investment flowing in, both domestic and international. You see new resorts, upscale residential projects, infrastructure upgrades planned, all aimed at boosting Phuket's premium appeal. It's worth keeping an eye on projects that focus on sustainability, too. Eco-friendly design is becoming increasingly important for buyers in this segment.
Right. And the impact of tourism trends.
Yeah.
Still central.
Absolutely. Tourism is still the engine. The shift towards more high-end tourism visitors seeking exclusive experiences, luxury stays, that's particularly good news for the luxury condo market. More affluent tourists generally means higher demand for premium properties and potentially higher values.
But seasonality is still a factor.
Oh, definitely. High season versus low season can significantly impact rental yields. That's a reality. And for long-term sustainability, things like environmental management, water, waste, plus ongoing infrastructure development and stable government policies are all really important. Sustainable practices are key for the market's long-term health.
How does Phuket compare then? If you put it up against other global luxury spots, maybe the French Riviera, parts of the Caribbean, Dubai, how does it stack up?
It's an interesting comparison. Those established markets, they have a long history, mature infrastructure, a certain reputation built over decades. Phuket is, relatively speaking, newer to the top-tier luxury game, which, as the article implies, has pros and cons.
What are the main advantages for Phuket?
Well, often, price point is one. You generally get more space, more property for your money compared to, say, the south of France. Then there's the natural beauty, the beaches, the landscape, the unique Thai culture, arguably more visually stunning or unique than some more developed areas. And because it's still developing in some ways, there's potentially greater growth potential, higher scope for capital appreciation, perhaps.
Okay, and the disadvantages.
Seasonality is a big one for rental income, as we mentioned. Infrastructure, while improving, might not be quite at the level of, say, Monaco yet. And as we've hammered home, those Thai property laws can be complex for foreign buyers to navigate, requires good advice.
So Phuket isn't trying to be the next Riviera, it's offering something different.
Exactly. It's positioned as a compelling alternative. It blends that relative affordability, incredible beauty, and future growth potential. It's a unique mix.
Which brings us back to property management. If you're investing from afar, this sounds critical.
It's not just critical, it's often essential for a smooth experience. Good management makes all the difference. They handle the rental operations, marketing the property, screening tenants, dealing with leases, collecting rent, check-ins, check-outs, all the hassle.
It takes the stress out of it.
Completely. And they maintain the property's value and condition. Regular inspections, arranging repairs quickly, cleaning, landscaping, making sure everything complies with local rules. Being proactive avoids bigger, costlier problems down the road and keeps your place appealing to renters or future buyers.
So how do you choose a good management company?
Look for experience, especially local Phuket experience like Ocean Worldwide has. Check the range of services they offer. Communication is key. How responsive are they? And make sure their fees are transparent. Get recommendations if you can. It really is the difference between a headache and a hands-off investment.
Okay, so you bought your condo, you've got management sorted, but eventually you might want to sell. Let's talk exit strategies.
Yes, planning for resale and liquidity, how easily you can sell, is vital right from the start. Don't leave it as an afterthought.
You can't just assume buyers will appear.
No. Think about who your target buyer might be. Another investor, someone wanting a holiday home. That affects how you market it. Presentation is crucial. Staging the property, getting professional photos, first impressions matter hugely in a competitive market.
And pricing realistically.
Absolutely. Overpricing is the fastest way to kill interest. You need to be competitive.
Understanding the market conditions when you want to sell sounds key too.
Timing can make a big difference. Keep an eye on the Phuket market trends. Are prices generally rising or falling? What's demand like, specifically for luxury condos? Are there new developments coming online that compete with yours?
So if tourism is booming, maybe you get a better price.
Potentially, yes. If there's an economic downturn, you might need to adjust your expectations downwards. It's about being informed.
And how do you maximize your return when you do sell?
Keeping the property in excellent condition is number one. Maybe make some strategic improvements, a fresh coat of paint, updated appliances, things that appeal to buyers. Be prepared to negotiate on price, on terms. Maybe offer incentives like including the furniture or covering some closing costs. That can sweeten the deal.
And remember the complexities of selling overseas.
Yes. Tax implications, legal requirements for the sale process, currency exchange. Again, Get professional advice to navigate all that smoothly. Don't try to wing it. So let's circle back to the big question. Phuket luxury condo, investment gold mine or money pit?
$1 million question.
Ha! Maybe literally. As our source, the article from Ocean Worldwide concludes, it's really not a simple yes or no. It can be a gold mine, but it can also be a money pit. It really boils down to doing thorough homework, getting that good independent advice, and knowing exactly what you're signing up for, the good and the potentially challenging.
Due diligence, again.
Every single time. If you approach it with that level of sensibility, clarity, and preparation, understanding the market, the laws, it can be a fantastic addition to your portfolio and lifestyle. If you cut corners, get swept up only in the dream, well, that's when you risk finding yourself in a bit of a pickle, financially or legally. Sensibility is absolutely key.
Okay, let's unpack this just one last time for you, our listener. As you're mulling over that incredible allure of tropical paradise versus the pragmatic realities of investment, maybe consider this. What personal priorities, things beyond just the financial numbers, might lead you to choose a developing dynamic luxury market like Phuket over a perhaps more established, maybe safer, but potentially less exciting global destination? Something to think about. We definitely encourage you to continue your own research if this has sparked your interest. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive.